Welcome back. If you're just joining us today, we're talking with Robert Campbell, who did suffer a brain aneurysm and lived to tell about it. And we're talking about how he changed his life afterwards. So whenever we left, you were talking about the actual effects of the brain aneurysm. And I wanted to mention that 50% of people who suffer brain aneurysms die within minutes. Why do the doctors think that you didn't?
They indicated because mine came from a small blood vessel, it was more to my advantage that it was able to be controlled through the medications that they put me on. And I was on...
But why didn't you die when you were having headaches? Why didn't it just boom like that instead of... Because it seemed pretty gradual, whereas, you know, many times you hear brain aneurysms, well, boom, it's, you know...
I can't answer that question completely, but I was told by the neurologist that was tending to me that 5% of the people who ever had this survived it.
Wow.
Which is quite, I guess on my part, I beat the odds.
So how did that make you feel when he told you that?
Well, at the time I was going through some residual problems with marriage that wasn't working. And there were times when I wondered, why was I saved from it when I was going through? That caused me depression. But
did you come up with any answers?
No, except for in the years later, like now, I've developed a group of friends that I value, and I never had people in my life that I called friends before. I had acquaintances, I had people that I knew and worked with, but they weren't considered friends. And being out here where I'm at now, I have a whole group of people that I jokingly call my friends, to the point where they are what I consider true friends. They need something, I accommodate their needs. When I need something, I don't have to ask twice. And I've found a place out here that, in the area that I think I found where I want to be in life. I've been accepted for who I am, not what I try to present myself to be necessarily. I think the best thing is I've accepted who I am.
Why do you think it took that in order for you to get here?
I really don't know why it took that, but all I can say is I've had a history of problems with relationships and things. I didn't know I was an abnormal person until after I had the aneurysm, and then I saw that I was a person that accommodated people to the point where I ended up taking the shaft sometimes. And trying to be what people wanted me to be with no regard for what I wanted to be. And my directions in life and the kind of work that I did, I realized that I was never really going to retire as a lot of people look forward to. So I decided to stay in a profession that I could work into my last days, whether it's as a result of a return of the aneurysm or whether from old age.
Right.
And I do things that I enjoy.
Now, did they say that the aneurysm might return?
They indicated that because it wasn't surgically repaired, that it was likely that it could. So that left me with a stigma of, okay, I've got to control myself so I don't get angry about anything, raise my blood pressure up to the point where it could possibly burst again.
So that your blood pressure, stress, those kind of things would directly affect that happening again?
That's what
to what degree?
They didn't really put it out as a degree level or anything. They just told me that I had to watch my situations to control my attitudes and what do you call it, tendency to get angry about things.
So does that mean you can't feel what you really feel, the emotions that build up inside of you? How do you gain control of that? Because some people yell and scream, and if you're not able to do that, how do you get, if you're angry, how do you get that out?
Well, part of it, probably the work I do. I work a hands-on type of work that I take things that are inanimate objects and I can do what I need to do and make them work and do what they're supposed to do. And if it means taking something apart in haste to work out some frustrations, I can do it. But I also know how to put it back together. And
so you don't yell, you don't scream, you don't...
No, I got over that.
How did you get over it?
Sometimes shortly after I had a problem with extensive road rage that was basically a result of me being intolerant of people doing things that I felt was dangerous to me. Tailgaters, people who did not observe traffic laws that I found a challenge to me. And after having been held accountable for some of my attitudes, I found ways to deal with it, because I don't like having to be held accountable for things that are involuntary sometimes.
Outside of work, how did you learn to deal with it?
I think it's as a result of finding that people accepted me as friend. That gave me a diversion.
Now, how did you meet these people?
Majority of it was through my business. People who'd come over here looking for things to be repaired, having me repair things, and they liked what I did. The atmosphere of this place, even though it isn't a pretty shop, it's a place where they know they can get things accomplished and resolved. And I'm surprised that today I don't have a group of people in here, being rainy out like
right.
today. I usually have 3 or 4 people in here all the time, and because people like to come in and smell the sawdust and the glues and the finishes that I use, because it takes them back. And
wow.
A lot of people are do-it-yourselfers. They like to come in and see how it's supposed to be done. And they go back to their home little projects and try to emulate some of my skills. So I feel good. I'm the kind of person who will explain to someone how to do something and get the job done properly.
Right.
And what that does, it opens a door, so when they find out how difficult it is sometimes,
they'd rather just have you do it.
To bring it back to me.
Right, exactly. Now, whenever we're going to go back to the aneurysm a little bit, what was your recovery period if they didn't do surgery?
I was in the hospital for something like 3 weeks and was released back to go home. I was put under a light duty type thing. I couldn't drive for probably about 2 months because I had a vision problem that resulted from it, blurred vision, and the medications they had me on, what I considered gave me an effective tunnel vision. I could see what was directly in front of me and nothing to the sides, so that limited my ability to drive. And so my business had to be shut down during that time. And it was also a time, like I said, when I had difficulties with the marriage I was in, and ended up having that the marriage just quit.
What other limitations did the aneurysm have on you physically? Do you?
I have all my motor skills. I found that my efforts to get back to work in a timely manner enabled me to get through a lot of the physical things that I didn't have really any problems physically. It was a majority of it was I was probably mad at the world for this happening to me. I blamed everybody around me for what had occurred.
How did you resolve that?
Most of it was time, and I had to go see some counseling.
Right.
As a result of it, the majority of the people basically encouraged me that I was extremely lucky, so don't let all this bother you. Everybody has problems, and as a result of that, I found that, okay, my problems weren't as bad as somebody else's, so I managed to get through it.
Wow. We'll be right back with that.